Diagnosing romance before it becomes a financial emergency.
Introducing Dr. Love. Chrissy is not just my wife, she's the Doctor of Love, the Chief Diagnostic Officer for Fly Me to the Philippines, Head of Behavioral Analysis, the one who delivers the verdicts.
And my husband, he is the trauma surgeon for bad decisions, emergency room doctor for lonely men, and the guy who's seen too many patients bleed out emotionally.
Have you been doing some laboratory work on some patients?
Yes, I've tested a lot of women's background. 8 out of 10 women, they are all scammers and schemers.
Please take a seat. This isn't gonna hurt. Is it gonna hurt, Chrissy?
Unless if you're gonna ignore us.
Gentlemen, we're gonna give you something for free just for watching our YouTube video. We've developed a 41 question survey, an app that you can shoot the QR code, download for free, and self-diagnose. You don't have to go to Dr. Google, Dr. YouTube. We've got, based on hundreds of consultations, Dr. Love and I, the trauma surgeon for bad decisions, have put together this self-questionnaire and a scoring system. All you do is pop open the app and take the survey, and you can find out if your long-distance relationship is on track or it's a little bit over in the gutter. And gentlemen, it doesn't matter if you've met the woman 2 or 3 times. If you're back in the West, if you're unsure, do a self. So anyway, stick around. We're going to offer that to you for free.
This is Fly Me to the Philippines, and welcome to Scamology. If you're here today, you may be experiencing symptoms such as racing heart, poor judgment, and uncontrollable urge to send money to someone you've never met.
Side effects, Chrissy, include blurry thinking, selective hearing, and believing she's different and pretending to be a defense attorney. Over the last year and a half, we've examined hundreds, over 500 cases, good men, smart men, educated men, all, Chrissy, taken down by the same emotional virus. No, not all were scammed. I'd say 1/3 have come in for a smooth landing. We get a call every week. We've just got married, the K1's been approved, we moved in together in Dumaguete. We've got a lot of success stories where Chrissy and I have coached the men over a 6-month period. But we have another 1/3 that have just crashed and burned. Chrissy, what's the good news?
The good news is this condition is treatable. There's a cure. There's a solution for you to get out from that kind of condition. But Rob, what's the bad news?
Well, Chrissy, the bad news is if you wait too long, it gets expensive.
Of course, every ask is expensive. Grandma in the hospital, my child needs medication, my dog needs to get to the vet. There's a lot of situations that is very expensive.
The brother had a motorcycle accident.
So today, we're running a full examination. We're going to diagnose the deadliest dating scams, identify the warning signs before your wallet flatlines.
Oh, God. And, you know, a lot of guys, they're coming to the Philippines because their wallet flatlined once before. And today, we're going to show you exactly how to test your relationship with a real diagnostic tool, not just your gut feelings.
So, gentlemen, the
doctors will see you now. Let's take a tour and let's visit each department of the Scamology clinic.
So, Rob, let's start with the Department 1, the emergency room.
Oh, where critical cases come in.
Yes, this is where immediate threats to wallet and sanity.
Oh my God.
Rapid fire diagnosis, early money request, load emergencies, customs, hospital, or phone broke stories.
Oh my God.
If she needs money before she needs you, she's already moved on to the next patient.
Department number 2, Chrissy, Neurology. Why your brain is lying to you. It's that damn algorithm. Dopamine addiction from texting, premium app illusion, love bombing misdiagnosed as intimacy. This isn't romance, it's a neurological event, Chrissy.
So Rob, I thought only social media has an algorithm. Man has an algorithm in their head as well?
You know, a dog sees a ribeye, the algorithm says salivate. A soda machine gets a $1 bill. The algorithm says kick out a can of soda. A man is baited with texting and scantily clothed women photos, a supermodel from Asia. Boom! The algorithm overrides all judgment. Some men call it thinking with the little head.
So other patients will feel the symptoms, but they will mistakenly think that it's just love beat.
They'll think their heart is ruling the case. In our practice, Chrissy, we find many men who just can't separate the rote programming that they were born with. All men are born with. They're very visual. They see a beautiful young Filipina, and she says, because Chrissy, she's been
To charm school.
of course, she's Filipina. Oh, your nose, that long, big nose, I love it. It's so different than all the men here. And you're so witty and so smart and so cultured and so secure in your financial. They know how to make a man think it's love. But it's called love bombing.
A lot of men in the West, Rob, have not been into a relationship for a very long time. And for the first time, they met a Filipina and they're so sweet, they're so caring. They didn't know they're already love bombing them. And for them, it feels like a good symptoms, but it's not. It was a warning that your wallet is being targeted.
Well, that's why this next Department 3, imaging and laboratory, is so critical. Sometimes if you just tell the doctor your symptoms and the doctor suspects you have something unique or something common, you don't believe him. He orders some laboratory tests.
And that's my specialty.
That's right. I'm sort of like the doctor, and you tell me she asked for money. You tell me she contacted you first. You tell me that she lives in a house with drywall and plaster and fancy furniture. And I'm going to tell you you're in trouble. But we're going to take some specimens and send it over to Dr. Love, and she runs the laboratory.
All the Western men will tell their symptoms. Other people will say it's normal. Other people will say it's a scam, but test never lie.
If you don't want your lab results to be horrific, what are some of the simple rules?
Video chat rules, social media checks, and our 41-question risk assessment tool, which we're gonna post here, the QR code so you can scan it and diagnose yourself.
So if you're not video chatting, if she contacted you first, if you haven't looked at her social media, if she claims she was hacked and she doesn't really use social media, and she's a Filipina or she lives in Asia and she's female, holy cow, we need to order up some lab work.
The good thing about us, Rob, is that we don't argue with patients. We run tests. No matter what you're gonna say, we're gonna believe what's the test result. So when you get the 41-question diagnostic tool, answer honestly. If your relationship scores high risk, that's not my opinion. That's data-based.
Okay, Chrissy, on with the tour. The Department of Second Opinions. This is your specialization. This is what you wrote your doctoral thesis on. How many foreign men have you spoken to in this week? A dozen. This month, 100. Some of the men really value a second opinion, a Filipina's eyes and ears. Am I being given the runaround? Is this a good woman?
The good thing, Rob, is that they can run these checks themselves, or you can let me do it properly. Now let's go to the next department, pathology reports, mini case studies.
Oh man, this is when you ignore the advice in our book, Fly Me to the Philippines. And Chrissy, we are giving something else away for free. We said we were only going to do it the first week of 2026, but I'm going to give it away until I get it on Amazon and start selling it. A Western Man's Guide to Dating in Asia and the Philippines. 100 pages. It actually has the 13-page social media investigation guide as an appendix. It gives an analysis of the 12 major dating sites, the 3 where the vast majority of our clients find success, the 9, not so good. And it talks about the perils of being on Tinder. It talks about the rules of the road, the do's and don'ts. We've got over 150 men who've landed the plane safely, and we've aggregated what they've done right and created these do's and don'ts. And Chrissy, in every chapter, you've got your tips.
Yep. And you know what, Rob? In our pathology reports department, we get a lot of mini cases that men told us. One man ignored tests and lost money. And one followed protocol, they got real relationship.
The same man, the same intentions, different diagnoses.
Before you fall in love, get examined.
Because denial is expensive and prevention is free. And you know, you're not a defense attorney. You don't want to talk to your children, your sister, your relatives, and always come off like you're defending. We had a client yesterday, and his son said, "Dad, come on, you're smoking something here. You're out of your mind. This can't be real. Why don't you spend the money and have Chrissy do a background check?" And she actually passed. It's, about 50% of the women actually pass, get a thumbs up from Chrissy. And he said, "I'm gonna tell my kid, like I took the initiative, and I can tell him, no, she's a real woman from the province. She was a school teacher. She had a kid she was raising by herself. She had introduced her parents online. He video chatted her twice a day. He met her on one of the premium Better apps. He reached out and wrote her a personalized letter. They talk an hour in the morning. She never asked for money. He's coming to see her, and we're hoping that he joins that list of very successful clients." So there are dozens and dozens of pathology reports where men, and Chrissy, this is so important. We are astounded. We have, I say, 100 men who admitted during their consultation to sending between $2,000 and $142,500 to a Filipina they had never met. 50% of them had paid for a huge premium on a premium dating site where the organized crime boss or the freelance scam boss could see that they had parted with $1,500 or $3,000, and maybe that's why they were targeted, even though they should have gotten so much extra service. It does alert people that you're willing to part with $3,000. Now, the thing that's crazy, doctor, is that when we ask them, did you video chat the woman? What percentage of the big money senders said yeah and said no?
90%.
It was crazy. She had an excuse why she couldn't video chat. She had load problems. She had a broken camera. The girls were supermodels usually, and they were texting. They had these pen pal relationships, Chrissy. Now, if you come to our clinic, or if you just watch our videos, we tell you this is really, really, really problematic. But they get their foot in the door with some exotic Asian beauty, and the woman gives excuses and excuses. It's gonna cause cancer. It's gonna cause a fatal condition, and not everybody can afford to give that money away. And Chrissy, the first thing that you do when somebody purchases your full-blown 4 to 6 hour social media investigation is you send them a liability release and a confidentiality agreement where our participation and their involvement is completely confidential. And sometimes we'll aggregate stories, or we'll create a scenario where 5 men told us the same thing, and we'll call him Roger from Alabama. So your confidentiality is 100% protected, and that's how we treat it. We treat it like it's a diagnosis, and it's only for you, and nobody else should ever know anything about it. But Chrissy, so many men, it's crazy how many, and that's why these organized crime call centers have 600 people. So Chrissy, we didn't even put this in our diagnostic survey because this is about pig butchering. But if they ever say crypto, run away.
So Rob, speaking of so many men, there are so many men that have felt the symptom just early when they started talking to the girl, but they thought it's just like a mild symptom. And they waited and they waited and they waited until they lost a lot of money before they came to us and get the Love Lab test.
The results.
And then the result is it's a total scam. But also there are a lot of men who just felt the symptom right away and approaches. And you know what? Some of them passed and some of them saved their money.
We had clients this month who had been to the Philippines 3 and 4 times for a month at a time. They traveled. They had a 2-year relationship. They were paying the rent. We found the woman with a 32-year-old man at the beach. We found the woman on vacation, another woman on vacation with her husband. We are finding men who've already met their Filipinas and have spent significant time and have been in multi-year relationships right there on social media. It's all there, but it's never where you would think to look. Chrissy, when you do your laboratory work, it's not so easy, is it? How do you find these second and third and relatives' Facebook pages? How do you do it?
It's a secret.
Come on. You had to go
It's a
to
talent.
It's an 8-year program to learn how to do this. It helps if you speak the language.
Yes, it helps when you speak the language. Like it helps when you study this specific case in your love condition.
Yeah,
You know?
and you've done hundreds of these, and so that helps too. But you have a methodology of following the breadcrumbs and the cookies, and a lot of times the Filipinas girlfriends will say something in Tagalog or Visayan, and you know what they're hinting at, and I would, even if I hit the translate button, I would never know what they're saying.
It's just that I grew up here in the Philippines. I know what's the norms. I know how Filipinas expression, and I know how the technicalities of the family names and the cousins and all that. So I got this knowledge, and you know, it's not that I studied this for years, but I grew up with this for years.
All right, we're going to give everybody the QR code for this app. You can just download it. It takes like 5 minutes to do a self-diagnostic, and only you know how you answered the question. It doesn't reside on a server or in the cloud. It just resides locally on your device. If you want to email it to us, if you want to email it to Chrissy and get her opinion on what you answered, there's an option to just forward that on to us. You can write us for the free book that's not yet for sale, 100-page, A Western Man's Guide to Dating in Asia and the Philippines. With Chrissy has tips and tricks at the end of every single chapter. She chimes in and gives her opinion on the subject. If every video call ends before her mascara smudges, Chrissy, that's not shyness, that's strategy. Love shouldn't require a wire transfer. Your heart is not a GoFundMe.
I say this one every week. I don't even need labs for this.
If she has more excuses than family members on Facebook, we have a problem.
That story has been recycled since 2012.
Men don't get scammed because they're stupid. They get scammed because they're hopeful. Gentlemen, this is not a relationship. It's a subscription. Romance without verification is gambling with better lighting.
That ID, I've met her 3 times under different names.
Chrissy, let's talk about that. We have this one woman. She's a social media influencer with almost 1 million followers. She has how many thousands of risque photos?
A lot.
It's like e lingerie or something. She's in she's not wearing much clothing, and her profile is being used and sent to men, and the men are just texting. They're not video chatting. 2 of these men, three of these men have hired you to find out if her social media will betray her, and it turns out it's not her. It could be a man eating Cheetos in the basement, 400 pounds.
Yeah.
They've never spoken to the woman. They've never video chatted the woman, but she keeps feeding them these very risque photos, and the last man had sent $700 without ever video chatting in just a 2 or 3 week period.
Yeah.
And it's getting easy for you now because the man says, here she is, I need you to investigate her, and you're like, I know her.
Yeah, those men just never know that the pictures they're receiving is not an exclusive for them. It's just a public pictures that was picked somewhere from this actress. And it's all there, it's public. And they thought it's exclusive for them, the lingerie.
And I've told this story before, and I'm sorry if you've heard it before. 7, 8 years ago, I sent a girl $100. I was green behind the ears, and I thought I'll send some grocery money. And I found a picture I shared with her on her baby daddy's Facebook page. And I lost all hope, and I actually quit for a couple of years. And I went back during the lockdown, and this is the story that kind of created this service. I chatted a woman 60 days, an hour and a half in the morning, an hour at night, and 60 days times 2.5 hours a day is 120 hours of talking to somebody. When I rolled up my sleeves and spent 3 hours investigating her social media, I found her mother's Facebook page, a Toyota minivan with 16 family members at the beach, promise ceremony, shacked up in an Airbnb with a man from Ohio 8 months earlier, and she admitted she was talking to him an hour a day. Now, anybody who had the time and effort, and I got to tell you, Chrissy, if there had been a knock on the door or someone had texted me at the 2-hour mark, I'd have called it quits. I'd have said that was the old college try. And that's why someone like yourself can really get in there and do it proper. The point is, Chrissy, the information's all public.
The good thing about getting a third party to do the investigation is that you don't have to commit a lot of your time. It is very
tedious. It's very tedious.
Yeah, especially if you're still working or you're still taking care of a lot of businesses. Responsibilities.
So anyway, that's how the idea, but the point is, everything is out in public. There's never been a Filipina who could go to a 5-star resort with a Frenchman and not post a selfie online. Is there a Filipina who could not share a picture?
Unless if they're hiding it from somebody too.
And you have these specialty reverse diagnostic tools, not the ones you find every day on the internet, and these link to social media sites, and it costs a real premium to get it.
You know, this generation is now a very modern generation, and nowadays it is so easy to just fake everything, fake account, fake passport, fake ID, fake pictures and everything. And they're everywhere, all over the world, not just in the Philippines. So there's a lot of them. It's like an octopus. There's a lot of tentacles there working for scams.
And I tell men, listen, you want to do this once, you want to do it right, you want to have the ability to find a low-maintenance girlfriend, one last search. Think of it like a job search, Chrissy. You want to hire hard so you can manage easy. You want to hire slow so you can fire fast. Online offers the ability to vet that you can't quite get boots on the ground. Now, we do have a 47-minute video. I'll put a picture right here. If you're a boots on the ground guy, we tell you where to meet an educated woman. And we have a Cebu City IT Park PDF. Just write us at flymettothephilippines@gmail.com and we'll send it to you for free. But you can vet online, and that's why we wrote the book, and that's why we have this diagnostic tool, because you shouldn't feel poorly that you're emotionally engaged. You've got an algorithm, you've met somebody young and appealing, and they're telling you a lot of the things that trigger your algorithm. And you wouldn't hire somebody for an important job without checking their references. So I don't want men to feel like they're ashamed to walk in the clinic. There have been many good men before you who have gone down this path. You have to ask yourself whether you want to continue down that path by yourself with your family and friends mocking you, your family and friends telling you you're nuts, this woman couldn't be real. They told me Chrissy was like not real. Here we are 3 years later, married, living an amazing life. She was real, and I found her Facebook page. It went back to when she was 13 years old. She was posting 3, 4, 5 times. It took me 10 hours to go back through, but there were no gaps. And I looked everywhere to see if there were other information that I needed to know. Everyone was telling me I was crazy, but I searched and found out I wasn't crazy, and I proceeded with confidence. And Chrissy, you talk about this. The confidence of knowing that you've done the check.
Yes, like you're checking the box. Like a lot of men have approaches and do the investigation, although they don't feel any symptoms. There's no red flag at all, but they just want to check the box before they're going to be too serious and proceed with their relationship. Now, just like when you do go to a doctor, everything is clear, but the doctor will say you can get a second opinion from the other doctor, from the third party.
Right.
And that is very important. Even if you don't see the red flags, sometimes you're wearing red glasses, so you don't see it. The green flags is what you always notice.
Yeah, information is power, and knowledge is information you can act on. You can buy our travel book before you come to the Philippines. I'm sure the cost of the book will be saved in better transportation, better accommodations, better routing, and just cultural understanding. You can get a free copy of our dating guide and save yourself a lot of heartache. You need to do this one more time, Chrissy, and don't be shy about getting a little lab work done, getting a second opinion. That's what we're here for. Our channel didn't start out this way, but after talking to so many men and hearing so many stories of how they've been scammed or misled, and hearing so many men who've been successful, we just feel It's an opportunity to share what we've learned with all of you.
So here is the code attached for the long distance relationship risk assessment dating tool.
41 questions. You can just you can press pause and hold your camera up to the screen and then scan the code and go right to the app. Or in the first pinned comment, Chrissy, and the description box, there's going to be a link you can just click on. And it takes about 5-7 minutes to answer the 41 questions. You're going to get a score, a risk assessment score. There will be several tabs to learn more information and get more background. And then if you want, you can email us for the free book, email us for the free PDFs.
You can email us the result of your test.
You can even email us the results of your test. And why not? What are you waiting for?
Yeah.
The clinic is open. All the departments are available. Pathology, hopefully you don't need.
One thing that I want you to do, you should answer it honestly and stop being denial. You see red flag, it's red flag. There's no if, there's no but. Stop being denial.
And if you haven't taken a look carefully at her social media, either yourself with the free 13-page PDF in the back of the free book, or we'll send you independently, or with help from a professional, I wouldn't get on a plane and come to the Philippines. I just wouldn't. I mean, you heard my own story, 60 days, 120 hours of video chat. Oh my God. And you know, she admitted she was talking to the guy she was engaged to an hour a day from Ohio. I thought I was a pretty bright guy.
Yeah.
So it could happen to anybody because, like the soda machine, the dollar goes in, the soda comes out. There's not a lot of thought between the dollar and the soda. It's just stimulus response.
Yeah.
And sometimes before you give away that soda, before you send money, before you book an expensive trip to the Philippines and let somebody meet you at the airport, you might want to know if she's engaged to a man from Ohio.
The best feeling you can have is the relief. If your woman is good and she passed, you get this relieved. If your woman is a scammer, then you just saved a lot of money and you will feel relief.
And you have an opportunity to start over, to reboot. You know, you don't throw the computer away, Chrissy. You reboot. You just reboot and start again.
And if you want to know more about this investigation, you can book a 10 minutes free to talk to Rob and see if this is really what you needed.
Okay, Chrissy, the Scamologist operating here at the Dr. Love Medical Clinic. Wish you the best.
And always remember, fly smart, fly with confidence, only here from Fly Me to the Philippines.
If not now, when? If not you, who? Be at your best when your best is needed.